After my 29 years life, here's what I learned. 1. Humans climb mountain or rock even though they eventually climb down. Absurd. 2. Humans collect a bunch of clothes even though they just need a couple of them to protect their body. Still absurd. 3. Humans use spices like a chili pepper even though they only need nutrition to maintain their life. Absurd. At the last, humans are obsessed to live even though they eventually die. No matter what they do, their destiny continues to the death. No matter what lens and camera they use, it eventually becomes a video. And that will be delivered to the others who also eventually die. They are desperate even though they will die. But all I learned from what I learned in my life, the death is the extreme equality among all living things. That death gives a flexion to our life. Imagine when you hold a string that is extending countlessly. It makes a flexion. That is the story of life. None of them are same. Like any classic music starts equally, but how it goes to the end is different. And plentiful gradations and complicated rhythms make endless beauty and sorrow. It's same in terms of ending, but content is not. It's not about to live or die. It's how we live and die. How we can do more meaningless and absurd things. How we can be obsessed with those while we were alive. It was not that everything is same because we eventually die. The truth is, it's same if we don't die, but it's different because we die. This is not a pray for the life. It's hymn for the death.
The wait is over. Now I finally got Nikon ZR in my hand, 6K 60 FPS and red color science in this compact body. Yeah, you guys are right. I should review this camera. So I've been using this ZR for a while and I actually made a short film on this, and now I can pretty much confidently talk about ZR. And what I wanna honestly tell you is this is the future for indie filmmakers.
Today, I will dive deep in this Nikon ZR. As you may know, this is the beast compact cinema camera, but there are some huge downsides at the same time. But still, I call it a future. Let me tell a story. I think I need to go back in time a little bit, especially the time of a pocket cinema camera. A lot of indie filmmakers used to use Blackmagic pocket cinema camera 6K. I was one of them. Why? Because you can get 6K raw video by around $2,000. Now it's even cheaper than that. And its cinema potential was crazy. It was a legit cinema camera. If you wanted to have a raw video in a low budget, this pocket cinema camera 6K was pretty much only one option. In 2025, I felt the same thing for ZR as Blackmagic 6K. It shoots up to 6K 60 FPS, a variety of codec options, goes like Nikon's original RAW file, and RAW, and Red RAW, ProRes RAW, normal, and log. And those come vivid and alive by this 4-inch huge monitor. And with 32-bit float audio, autofocus, and image stabilization, you get everything by $2,200. Smells like a golden era with BM6K, but with newer technology and ideology. This is the future.
So, raw video is something that we always dream of at the beginning stage as a filmmaker. So that's why we used to go for Blackmagic 6K, but now we can get that by $2,200 mirrorless camera, which is Nikon ZR. This is shot on Red RAW 6K.
'Cause it's alright. We don't have to play by the rules. It's alright. We can pick and choose our own fights. It's alright.
So, Red RAW R3D is incredible. Well, I haven't used a Red cinema camera before, so I don't know if this R3D is true to the real Red color science, but I felt it was a legit RAW when I was color grading. amazing color potential. It's like you get a super fine detailed steps of each color, which gives the image high density feel. I think even when it's R3D, the original spirit of color is pretty much Nikon. Nikon has a most natural and pure color science in my opinion. I reviewed the Nikon Z5 II before, and I felt pretty much same feeling as when I was color grading Z5 II footages. It's the pure violence. Nothing is exaggerated too much. There is no specific uniqueness in a good way. It is super easy to use for me. And this R3D is something that can give you more colors with Nikon's natural style remained. So, except R3D, this ZR can record NRAW, which is Nikon's original RAW format, and also ProRes RAW, which many other cameras use, such as Lumix S9 R2 and FX3 with Atomos Ninja 5, external HDMI recording. They all are raw. Nothing is processed. It's a pure color information and you can have a full control. So they are pretty much the same, although each has a slight uniqueness, slight differences because the companies are different, like Apple, Nikon, and Red. So this is a comparison of R3D and NRAW and ProRes RAW. I applied the exactly same color grading and this is what happened. Okay, there is a really small difference, like NRAW has the strongest contrast and saturations of those three, like shadow is more spiky than others. Also blue of the sky is deeper than others too. R3D has lightest contrast and saturation. NRAW and ProRes RAW are very similar. So even though they are the different format, they are the RAW from same camera, which is ZR. So color result is not that different. So what's amazing about this ZR is this got 3 types of RAW. This allows it to fit many scenarios. ProRes RAW is super major format which is used at many environments. R3D might be a great option for red environment as the B cam. And RAW is great for matching up with other Nikon cameras. Do we have any other cameras like ZR? Like 3 RAW format at the same time in one machine? No, we don't have it. Lumix S1 R2, S1 II can do the ProRes RAW internal recording, but it needs the external device to record Blackmagic RAW. FX3 doesn't shoot those internally. This is one of the biggest attraction of ZR. And also this got 15 plus stops dynamic range and dual based ISO 800 and 6400. 15 plus stops dynamic range makes RAW even better, and this dual native ISO helps you to shoot in low light situation. But still high ISO is 6400, so you're gonna have a noise when you shoot in a really dark situation. But still, those help you in many situations, especially if you shoot solo. Those functions are just a lifesaver. So what's more amazing about ZR is those are coming with 6K resolution. Oh my god, this is a true high-res monster. Look at this detail level. I often use, for example, 8K of Lumix S1 R2, but feels like this ZR 6K has more. I think that's because this ZR 6K is RAW because it has more color details in addition to the simple resolution. It just feels better than 8K of S1 R2. They combine together and produce this incredible image quality. Simply amazing. I love this depiction. Also, this 6K goes up to 60 FPS. And it's not just a 60 FPS, high quality 60 FPS. Usually, when the mirrorless camera tries to have a lot of things in one time, like a slow motion, resolution, and colors, the image quality tends to be degraded, especially when it's slow motion. But this keeps its quality super well. Even when it was a little low light situation, it was pretty much clean. No noise around the shadow area. There are other options such as 4K up to 120 FPS and 1080p up to 240 FPS, but probably 4K is not a major option on this ZR. Of course you can use it, but you want to use a 6K to draw the maximum power from this ZR.
Why did it have to be small like this? Come on. I don't say like a pocket cinema camera size, but at least I want like a FX3 size. Just come on, give me a grip. That's the only thing I hate about this camera. I'm not sure where my thumb should be. Like where? Like if I close the monitor, there is no place for thumb, but if I open the monitor, this edge hooks my thumb. So yeah, but definitely I need a cage or handle for the solid, holding feel.
Well, compactness, that's a good thing, yeah. But it's just, this is too much. It's a cinema camera, so I want the sort of the legit holding feel, at least extra 0.5 inch thickness. But since it is super compact and light, you can use this for some tricky situations like this. Or the gimbal operation is gonna be so much easier than other compact cinema cameras like a Blackmagic 6K or a Red Komodo. Operation-wise, this compactness is the attraction. Buttons and dials are so minimalistic, but that's actually great. It just got what I need. Front dial for aperture, back is for shutter speed, ISO is on the screen here. But that's okay, I don't change it that often. 2 rec buttons, 3 custom buttons. Those are super handy. It doesn't have a wheel like other mirrorless cameras, but since the monitor is huge, the touch control is easy. Yes, another huge attraction of this ZR is this huge 4-inch monitor. One thing I am afraid of right now, that is, I might not be able to go back to the normal 3-inch monitor like this. Massive difference. This elevates the shooting experience a ton. First of all, the motivation is on fire. Like I said, it shoots 6K RAW. You can feel the giant impact through the monitor while shooting. This feel is simply incredible. Second, you can focus on the details such as composition, camera move, and the focus. Those two things makes the total shooting experience 100 times better than 3-inch monitor. But there is a huge downside at interface. This got mic and headphone jack, USB-C, and micro HDMI. Cinema camera, micro HDMI. I don't get it. But yeah, maybe this shoots RAW internally and you got a big monitor, so you won't use some external device through HDMI that often, but still it's inconvenient, especially when you try to transmit the video footage to other device. Also, it's good to have a CF Express Type B card slot, but another option is micro SD. Who's gonna use it? Micro SD. I haven't used it for a while, like except drone and then GoPro. I think CF Express is only one option since the data size will be massive, but I wish it had the normal SD card slot for normal log 4K shooting. So I'm just wondering why Nikon had to reduce the weight and size by sacrificing the usability. But only this 4-inch monitor makes everything alright. You can live with those flaws for only this monitor. It's that good. So the body usability is not good, but the functionality is actually great. First of all, the battery life is amazing. One day I had a half-day shooting with Nikon ZR. I was shooting on Red RAW 6K, 24 FPS, sometimes 60 FPS, but only 20% was needed for that day. 20%. I think it can survive the whole day with only one battery. I thought it needed a lot of batteries because it is super powerful, but it didn't. So this is also amazing. I felt the huge potential for solo and low budget filmmaking environment when you don't want to carry a bunch of batteries and when you don't want to use a 3-month battery on it. And this is crazy feature, 32-bit float audio, internally and externally, the game changer.
So now that this is being recorded by 32-bit float internal microphone of ZR, I'm not using any external microphone, just talking to the camera directly, and I don't even care about the gain, the volume, because 32-bit float, I can stretch and contract the audio data. I often use audio from the video footage when I make a short film. I had to use a shotgun mic on it to get the legit audio for it. But with this ZR, I don't need it.
because it already sounds super crispy without a microphone. And I don't have to worry about the gain since it is a 32-bit float. Because 32-bit float audio can be stretched from low to high without losing the quality, without, cracking. Also, you can choose the direction of sound from sharp front to back. So let's film a little nature shot with a nice nature ASMR sound. This is it. So I think I will use a shotgun mic anyway for the talking head type of content. But when you want to record environment sounds or a little bit of voices, this internal 32-bit float is enough. So let's talk about the monitor again. The reason why you use the external monitor is, of course, the size, bigger screen, but it's also for the monitor functions such as waveform, custom LUTs, guidelines, those things. This ZR got the basic stuffs, and they are pretty much enough. You can import 3D LUT, there are guidelines options. Also, this systems boost efficiency, the custom display. I think pretty much all Z series have this. You can have 3 custom displays, and switching among them is super fast and easy. Really love this function. And when you shoot vertically, display also becomes the vertical mode, which is convenient. And there's a cinematic video mode. This allows you to shoot with a cinematic taste, but don't have to collaborate that much. I think this is something like a Sony's S9. This is not a major option for ZR, but it's a good have option in case you want to go casual.
Is it legal to have the autofocus on cinema camera? Come on.
Let's bump up to like a 50 or something like that.
Okay, it's not that fast, yes, but I think still usable. Like a tracking is good, as I can see the monitor right now. Yeah, it's just the speed is not as fast as like a Sony or Lumix, such those mirrorless cameras. But considering this is a cinema camera, having this autofocus is just more than enough and fine.
So I think we don't get to say like, oh, this autofocus, blah, 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 because we must appreciate that this has autofocus. I think this is the best autofocused cinema camera in the world right now. Some cinema cameras have autofocus like a Blackmagic, but they don't work as well as, this. So I have only one Nikon autofocus experience, which is Z5 II, but I feel it's pretty much same. Well, I don't think there is a weird thing. It works super fine. Speed is good, accuracy is good, and object tracking performs really well. No other cinema cameras have this high quality autofocus. It's just as great as other Nikon cameras. Image stabilization too. I wouldn't say it's fantastic, I've had better. But considering this is a cinema camera, that is crazy. I used to use a Blackmagic 6K, which doesn't have a continuous autofocus and image stabilization, so compared to that, it's a whole new different world. You can use both off normal and sport mode even when it's raw. Now you don't have to use a gimbal for every single shot. And I'm not done yet. This got amazing photography performance. It has 26 megapixel RAW, burst shooting mode up to 20 frames per second. It doesn't have a viewfinder, but it can work as a photography machine. Still, this is a hybrid camera, and the quality of photos are Nikon. Don't worry. It's not like the cheap photos that cinema cameras usually do.
Maybe it's a little hard to imagine how good this photography experience is because it looks like a compact cinema camera without a viewfinder, right? Something like a FX3 stuffs, but this photography performance is so good. Actually, I didn't expect this. This huge monitor and huge bright high-res monitor makes whole photography experience so good, even I don't have a viewfinder on it. So yeah, this is This is actually amazing. You know, the image is good, like the feel while I'm shooting is super good thanks to this huge, bright, high-res monitor. So yeah, legit hybrid camera, I would say.
Isn't it just amazing that you can have those cinema performance without giving up the photography? Okay, this is it. It was a ton to cover. I think I couldn't go over all features and attractions, but I guess this is it. You know, the crux of Nikon ZR is the cinema in your hand. Like Blackmagic 6K used to provide you. Not like it. It got the high technology like autofocus and image stabilization, amazing battery life, and easy and simple operability, usability for solo, low budget shooting. If you want to commit to the serious filmmaking but can't afford the big budget such as money and people, this ZR is a fantastic option. But you gotta understand, this is not for the social media content creation such as YouTube and Instagram. This is not for talking head shots like this and interview, or maybe even wedding, which require the long hours shooting. I didn't test overheating resistance of ZR this time, but I guess it's not that good. And more than that, this produces the massive data size. So if you also potentially do those things, maybe FX3 or Lumix S1 R2, S1 II, those are better option. But if you go for the cinema path, like we used to go for Blackmagic camera a couple of years ago, 2025, that position is for Nikon ZR. And for the last time, this is such a fun camera. It stimulates my motivation for craft. I think this comes from RAW and big monitor. I think some of you who are watching this video right now are struggling to decide the best camera for you. What I want to tell you in this video is cameras are same. No matter what you use, like FX3, Nikon ZR, Z5 II, S1 R2, final output is the same. A video. An audience won't even care about what you use and what profile you use, like log or raw. Doesn't matter. What matters most is if you can be hyped about it or not. Can you feel the hyper motivation while you are shooting and editing? Can you be super passionate when you hold that camera? That emotion process is important. And that changes the final result. And that is something audience can notice. I think this ZR is that kind of camera. It's fun. And that is enough reason to buy this. The end of the story. Okay, this is it. If you have any question, just shoot me anytime, anywhere. And if you like this video, show me a thumb and hit the subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Shabada. いやこの ZR をやっていろいろやって調べてたりしてたら、うわなんかブラックマジックもう一回使いたいなと思ってしまった。最近はまあこの S1 今これは S1-2 ですね。S1-2 を今使ってますが、まあ S1R2 も同様に使っていて、まあこの ZR もそうだけど、やっぱハイクオリティな動画がすごい簡単に撮れると。まあまだこの ZR はちょっとこう若干の使いづらさがあるからこそすごい楽しいって楽しいんだけど、やっぱその便利がゆえに失われていくクラフトマンシップというか、まあこうディテールにこだわるその姿勢とかっていうのはやっぱりこのブラックマジックとかってやっぱすげえいいなっていう、まあそもそもブラックマジックローがむちゃくちゃ好きなんだけど、なんかこの ZR っていうのは、まあ、そういうその映像制作、そのクラフトマンシップにこうね向き合うっていうその姿勢を思い出させてくれた、カメラでございました。以上。